Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Rob Adams, and you are here for another episode of In the Abyss. As promised the other day, this will be another unboxing, and it is from the same company, Kino Lorber, as it was last time. Last time we did a sale unboxing. They had a big sale, and I got a bunch of movies that they had discounted. This is while supplies last, so these are movies that are going out of print from their company, which means unless another company gets the rights for these movies, these will be movies hard to get. They were on sale, and some of them I got as low as $4.99, which is super cool. I got 8 movies, 2 of which I've seen before, so 6 blind buys. But I'd either heard of these movies, or they were movies I've been wanting to purchase. So kind of worked out. What I do is I'll sit there and go through the movies, and I'll add to my cart of all of these different movies, and then I'll go through the cart, and based on price or more want than anything else, I'll start moving and removing and doing all that different kind of stuff, and kind of narrowing it down to what I end up purchasing. Last time we got 9. Like I said, this time we got 8. So let's get at it and see what we have here. All right. First one, The Man Who Died Twice. This is a blind buy. Film noir, and kind of like a B film noir. I love the title. From the things I've read about it, it sounds like a really cool film noir. Comes highly recommended, and because of that, the way, if you've watched any of my videos when we went through the years and favorite films and stuff like that, and music and stuff like that, this is how you find movies, music, that kind of stuff of never heard of, or never maybe have given it a shot, and all of a sudden you figure out, holy cow, that turned out to be a really good movie, or that's a really good band, or whatever. And this kind of fits right up the alley of the movies I like, so it was worth me giving it a shot, especially at the price. So I'm looking forward to watching this. Next up, Separate Tables. David Niven, Burt Lancaster, Rita Hayworth, Deborah Kerr. I mean, it's actually based off of 2 one-act plays. And on the stage, it's the same couple in the first act, and then again in the second act as a different couple, but the same actors. In the movie, it is Burt Lancaster and Rita Hayworth, and then David Niven and Deborah Kerr together, and it kind of goes back and forth. And so it's the 2 one-act plays in film form. David Niven wins Best Actor for this film. And if you've been in my class, we've talked about him quite a bit in the last week. Terrific British actor. This is up the alley of 12 Angry Men, The Big Chill, those kinds of things where they it's just centered around conversation. It's centered around the people. There's not a lot going on. And so this was one that for a long time I've been wanting to get, and it was a perfect time, especially with it going out of print, for me to grab it and be able to watch it again. Or I think I saw it a long time ago when I was younger, but it's been a while, and I really want to see it again. I'm a huge fan of Rita Hayworth, so anything with her in it is a plus for me. All right. Next we have Sam Whiskey, Burt Reynolds. This is really the start of the Burt Reynolds formula, and we've talked through all these years of the formula of an actor. Even though the formula for Burt Reynolds wasn't the Western per se, what you get with him is that slick talking, kind of big personality, Burt Reynolds laugh kind of role that evolves into those Smokey and the Bandits, the Hoopers, those type of movies that he did. A young Angie Dickinson, who was in Dressed to Kill and other things, is the female lead in this. And this is one of those ones that I saw a long time ago, and for me, as a Burt Reynolds fan, it was a no-brainer to get this, and looking forward to watching it again. because, like I said, it kind of just starts the beginning of what we are going to see in Burt Reynolds' career. Okay, so a blind buy here, Cops and Robbers. Not really big actors in this. This is Cliff Gorman and Joseph Bologna, I think is how you say his name. But the story is really well done. This was a $4.99 Blu-ray. If you go on Amazon, it's like $40, $35. It is, according to all of the things I've read, a under the radar still to watch. Like, this is a movie that is a must see. I know the storyline of two New York cops in the 70s trying to make their way, and just seeing how, you know, the crime side kind of pays more than the police side, and you know, anyways, that's the base of it. It is a blind buy, but by all accounts, this was a no-brainer, and for the price, I had to give it a shot. Okay, another one I got for $4.99, The Naked Face, starring Roger Moore. This is at the height of his James Bond career, and I think it was right between his last two, Octopussy and A View to a Kill, and he filmed this in between. So, you know, if you're a Roger Moore Bond fan, which I am, you know, a kind of thriller mystery, you know, you input him into that kind of movie and just have a different name, and you're kind of getting a Bond feel to the film. And you know, once again, at the price, it's a no-brainer to get this and be able to see him in something other than a Bond in this period of time. But it's kind of Bond-esque, which is super cool. And once again, you know, I grew up with the Roger Moore era of Bonds, and so he is my favorite Bond. Those are my favorite films because that's what I grew up with. And there's nothing, I mean, look, the Sean Connery films are great. Sean Connery is a better actor, there's no question about it. But Bond comes down to, you know, how you grew up, and for me it was Roger Moore. So, you know, anything like this, you know, I'm in. All right, so, you know, Hammer films, we've talked about them before. They were kind of like the reboot of the Universal monster films. You know, they rebooted Dracula and The Mummy and Frankenstein, etc. But they also did some movies like this, The Man Who Could Cheat Death, where, you know, it's almost like a you know, a mad scientist type movie, where, you know, he's coming up with a way of prolonging life, is what I assume. This is a blind buy. But, you know, it also stars Christopher Lee, who was a Hammer guy, played Dracula for the Hammer films. So you see, you know, you give me his name in there and in the story, and this is one of those non-monster Hammer films, and I was really intrigued to give it a shot. I'm looking forward to watching this one. And once again, by all accounts, this is one that you at least have to see one time, and for the price, you know, why not buy it and have it, especially with it going out of print. All right. Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, this is one of the ones that I have seen. Madhouse, they are kind of actors who play the different roles, and in typical Vincent Price fashion, you have the mystery and the gore and all of the stuff that, you know, plays along with the Vincent Price mystique. Peter Cushing, of course, another Hammer Films guy. This is not a Hammer film, but is another Hammer film guy who, you know, was Dr. Frankenstein, and you know, of course, a lot of you know him from Star Wars as Moff Tarkin. You know, made his bones really being in horror films. And, you know, Vincent Price horror films are some of my favorites. Anytime I'm able to get those, I'm going to capitalize on them and be able to watch them. And I saw this one last year during Halloween, and it's one that I've been wanting to get. And once again, when I saw it was going out of print, it was now or never. So I went ahead and, you know, grabbed it. And looking forward to seeing it again. If you haven't seen any of the Vincent Price movies, just kind of Google top Vincent Price films and kind of just start at the beginning and watch them. They're really good. He really, you know, we talk as actors about knowing oneself and being able to, you know, project that in front of the camera. And he really knew what his thing was, and he did it really, really well. And he took ownership of it. So when you watch him work, there's such a believability. And the same goes for Christopher Lee, who we just talked about, Peter Cushing. These guys really understood their look and their kind of likeness when it came to horror films and stuff. And this is probably why, if you fast forward to the Star Wars films, why Lucas thought they were perfect for the dark side of the Force. You know, Christopher Lee, of course, being Count Dooku in the prequels, and then Peter Cushing being Moff Tarkin, that they kind of just fit that mold that he was trying to create after seeing all those early films and who and what they were. So you add that with, like I said, with a Vincent Price, and you have a really good, fun film. All right, the last one I got here is called A Game of Death. This is actually a remake of, I think the original was called A Dangerous Game. I cannot find that on Blu-ray, but once again, this is another one that is a blind buy, but by all accounts, not as good as the original, but still a really good remake. And it's one of those things where, from my understanding, is a group of people end up on this island, and it kind of goes by what the title says, A Game of Death. I really don't know. But from what I understand from the original A Dangerous Game, that's kind of where it's headed, right? And that's what they're doing. But it was another one when I was looking up names and stuff like that that really intrigued me. And when I go to those sites and look up reviews and stuff, I always go by certain categories, right? We've talked about this. You know, what is the video reproduction? What's the audio like? What's the movie ranking? And then most importantly, what's the replay? And what that is to me is, are you willing, is it good enough to want to watch again and again and again? And it has to at least get 3 stars on the replay, because if it's under 3 stars, it probably means it's a 1 and you're done, right? So that's where you rent it, or you find it on TV, or you find it on Netflix or whatever. So when I look at all these things, it has to fall under, you know, at least 3.5 stars for everything for me to even consider it, let alone buy it. But once again, I was always intrigued with this story with A Dangerous Game and then A Game of Death. And so once again, at the price and what we were getting here, for me, it became a no-brainer to pick this up. And it was one of those ones where I was kind of on the you know, going back and forth with it, right? And it just never seemed to be deleted out of my cart. So, but when it was all said and done, it was like, you know what? This is one I have to get. Right? Separate Tables is one I have to get. Sam Whiskey's one I have to get, you know. And so I'm really excited to watch this and see where it goes. And maybe I'll come back and review some of these so you kind of get an idea of not only what I'm buying in these older films from the 40s and 50s and 60s, some 70s, and I think the Roger Moore one is early 80s, like 83. But also... so you guys can get an idea of the quality of a movie, right, and how good they are. And anybody who's been around me, anybody that's in my classes knows I've really been working backwards and watching these older films, and I really just am loving them to death. So that is the next haul. And just like the other ones, just to show you, they have that typical, you know, straight spine that goes into my collection up on the wall here. You can't see it, but... it just, I go alphabetical order with them, and they all look the same, and it just looks really good. And like I said, I'm looking forward to watching these, reviewing them back with you. If you have any questions about these or comments or anything about, once again, like we talked about, purchasing these kinds of films and what I would suggest and stuff, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you guys have a terrific weekend, and we'll be back next week with our next episode. Have a good weekend. Take care.